Hello everyone. First of all, I wish to express my sincere thanks to the organizers of the Southeast Vegetarian Congress, which is based on the plant food for a better life. I am especially thankful to Professor Matre, whom I met a long back ago. And if you see it in the conference at FIO in 2008, I hope some of you might be present even today. So thank you very much for your invitation. This is just to remind Professor Matre with my family. So today I will speak on cancer chemo prevention by diet and plants. As you all know, cancer is the second most common cause of death after heart disease, and cancer kills 1 out of every 4 persons. The risk of developing cancer can be reduced by changes in a person's lifestyle. When I say cancer kills 1 out of every 4 person, that means that because of the advancement in the medical science, we have been able to treat and cure all other diseases. So only cancer, heart attack, or the road accident, or maybe the AIDS are only cause of major death. So it shows like that. Now, as you see, and during the time of the evolution, or during time of our academic evolution, it was a black box that what exactly is cancer, how genes are involved, how environment is involved, and how the diet is involved in the induction of a cancer. Now, as the science progresses, we have been able to open this black box and to know some of the reasons which cause cancer. And now it is very well known what are the molecular mechanisms of the beginning of cancer in any person. So the question is, what is cancer? We all know that normal body cells grow, divide, and die in an orderly fashion. But cancer cells are different because they do not die, just continue to divide and grow. And cancer cells actually result from the result of the damaged DNA. We have seen that what is carcinogenesis over here, then the cells are exposed to any carcinogen, it induces initiation, DNA is damaged, then because of the other process of they suppress the tumor processor gene, repressor genes. They also have gene mutations, and some of the proto-onco genes are activated, and then we develop first the benign tumor, and if it is not being treated on time, it develops into a malignant tumor. That's a very sorry state of affair, but some of the chemopreventive agents can be effective during the initial phase also. So we have to look. But the major concern is that 80% of the cancer, the cause is not known. It is sporadic, meaning the cause is unknown. So there are several risk factors that increases the chances of cancer. For example, the age factor and the diet. The high fat diet and high cholesterol diet, it is a factor which can increase the risk of cancer. Obesity. However, there is no clear link, but research indicates that obesity, having more extra weight, it can also have a cause of cancer. Smoking, cigarette smoking, we all know the lung cancer it can cause, maybe tobacco products, there's also responsible. And of course, when there is a long-term exposure to chemicals, asbestos, radon, and benzene, it might also cause cancer over here. So the causes of cancer can be the high levels of radiations, maybe harmful effects of ultraviolet rays from the sun, maybe some virus, hepatitis B even, C even, HPV, Epstein Barr, all the immune system when get depressed or diseased. So it is said that heredity, I do not agree with that, but it is said that if you have some history in your family about the cancer, then the persons have more chances of having cancer than the normal history. So the screening are recommended for all the families. Ultimately, if you have a balance between obesity and nutrition and cancer, then you will always find that if you have a high fat contents, if you high alcohol contents, if you high different factors over here, that might increase the cancer incidence. But if you have certain phytochemicals, if you have physical activity, if you eat fruits, if you have vegetarian diet, and all these plants derivative, then it might be possible that the chances of cancer will decrease. So the major question is cancer preventable? Well, my answer is yes. If we have a typical and particular lifestyle and the diet, if we use vegetables, if we are vegetarian, then the probability and the chances of cancer are comparatively less than those who do not care about the lifestyle and the diet. So while you are having all the advantages, you are undergoing treatment, but you can have the ice cream. So fruits, vegetables, and grains, they contain thousands of chemicals which are called as the phytochemical. The big question you must be asking for: do phytochemicals prevent cancer? My answer is yes, because what is actually chemoprevention? The chemoprevention is the inhibition, reversal, or retardation of carcinogenesis by the administration of natural or synthetic agents, which is termed as the chemoprevention. So the question is, why fruits and vegetables are good to prevent cancer? We have seen through various research areas that phytochemicals, they disease or decrease risk of the cancer. The mouth and pharynx cancer can be reduced. The various esophagus cancer can be reduced. Lung cancer, stomach cancer, maybe colon cancer, and it can also have a lot of risk factors. It can decrease larynx, pancreas, breast. So you can see almost all types of cancer can be reduced, the chances, and not only chances, it will prevention of the cancer if we have the fruits and vegetable as our diet. So this is what exactly is seeing over here. There is a cell. If it is being mutated, then it results into a different mutant cell, and if it is not protected, giving any phytochemicals or any chemical agents to prevent it, it might lead to a malignant cancer. But there are chances, if we have these phytochemicals over here, then they might go back to the normal cells. So that is important. So for to assess how the plants and the vegetables and the food material can be good to prevent a cancer, you have to have scientific evidence. So we take lot of short-term tests which are widely used. One of them is the mouse bone marrow micronucleus assay, chromosomal aberration analysis, the assessment of antioxidant status, reactive oxygen species, inducers per oxidation. So all these parameters are assessed to do it. Then there's a very typical chemoprevention assay in rodents. There's a tumor model system, two-stage skin. We developed a normal mice. We induce skin carcinogenesis by TMP and croton oil, and then to one group of animals we don't treat with any phytochemical. Other group of animal we treat the phytochemicals. This will develop the tumors, but this will be without tumor or the number of less. That will show how good it is. So in India, I have done a lot of experiments on various plant materials so as to see that which plant extract or the material can be used for the cancer prevention. So mentha is one which is very common in India. It has lots of medicinal preparations. It's usually used for remedy of common cold, but it has also inflammatory process of the mouth, pharynx, sinuses, liver, gallbladder, and bowel. So it has lots of other elements which can help you in overcome the nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and other cramps, other things. So it's one of the most important plants over here. And if you see the various properties, it has a lot of antioxidant property. It has a lot of essentials of the constituents, and there are so many other chemicals which are found in this particular plant material, which helps in the chemoprevention of cancer. So we published a research papers on the anti-cancer and radioprotective journals, potentials of mentha peperita. And then we have a very holy osimum. This is one of the holy plants which we all Indians keep in our home. So it is said if it is kept on our front door of the home, then the diseases, the bacteria will not come in. So this is also a wonderful plant, Osimum sanctum, and it contains lots of phytochemicals which can be good for the uh, prevention of cancer. So they have also published two various papers on the osmium sanctum in Cancer Letters and other journals, which shows that this osmium sanctum can prevent it, and especially it can have the DNA adduct formation. It can prevent us. So it is very useful plant. We also used another plant called as the Acacia nilotica, and this Acacia nilotica is also a very common plant in India, and this has lot of chemicals, phytochemicals, which are responsible and which help in the prevention of our cancer over here. So we also published a research paper on Acacia nilotica on the cancer chemo prevention properties, and we can also see that is a very useful material. Then we have another plant material called as the chlorophytum. This also is very well used in India, and this is again it is called as the Safed Musli. And the another major property of this plant is that it works like as Viagra works. So it's people were using in India for this as a Viagra, but later on we found that this plant can also be good and useful for the chemo prevention of cancer. So we also published in the paper anti-tumor. This is anti-mutagenic and it modulates the potential, and this is one of the good plant and future which will help us for the prevention of cancer over here. And then other certain plants or the algae, spirulina, we worked, it also helps in the cancer chemo prevention. So there are lots of plants in India which are available maybe worldwide, and we are talking only the plants on which I have worked. So this again Tribulus terrestris. It has also a lot of phytochemicals and which helps in the prevention of cancer. We also published another paper on the chemopreventive potential of Tribulus terrestris against DMBA here, induced skin papillomagenesis in mice. As I was telling you, we use this as a skin papilloma model for the test whether the plant is chemopreventional properties or not. So we also used tritium acetium. This is commonly called as the wheat grass, and I think it must be very common grass, must be eaten worldwide. And I've seen that during morning walk time, when I go to a morning walk, and then some of the groups of people, they're also selling this white grass or the tritium acetum, and they find it the juice is very useful for the prevention of cancer over here. Then of course you must have heard the wonderful plant Panax ginseng. I hope you must have heard. It is very common in Korean area, in the Japanese area, maybe Chinese area, and maybe of course in Thailand. So this is also one of the very prospective for the prevention of cancer. So we also published various papers on Panax ginseng, and of course we had another isolated components of the Panax ginseng, RP1, which is also good for this. This is a ginsenoside which was isolated from the Panax, and we found, because sometimes scientists asked why a common extract, there should be a particular chemical which is involved, particular material, synthetic or natural, which is responsible. So we isolated one component, ginsenoside RP1 named is, and we found that it is also very useful in the prevention of cancer over here. Now Allium sativum is another one which we try to use, and this is also very good for the prevention of the cancer over here. Now the garlic, I hope you must be having a lot of consumption in China and Italy, and is linked to the lower gastric and cancer risk. So this is very particular, and it has sulfur compounds which inhibits a lot of cancers of colon, breast, and esophagus, lung, and skin. So it is very important one, and I think in most of our family home we use this garlic for various purposes. Sometimes people they eat orally, and sometimes it is good for during the cooking process when it is being used over here. So the brassica, I hope you all broccoli, and maybe during your lunch hour time or the dinner time, which will be served here during the conference, you will have lots of broccoli. So it is the broccoli or the brassica family is one of the most potent plant material which we use in our diet for the prevention of cancer. So it's good one. So we have brassica, beautiful flowers as you see here. This is a mustard oil, and this mustard oil is very well used for our cooking material. And I remember during earlier times in India, maybe elsewhere in the um, throughout the world, this mustard oil was frequently used as a base for our cooking material. And I still feel that we have number of other oil contents now, but I still feel and prescribe that the brassica oil is one of the most important, significant oil for the protection of not only cancer but so many other diseases. So I recommend you to please cook your food in this medium. And then we have a bitter melon over here, that is the Mamorentia. This is, and this is very nice one. Of course, it's bitter in taste, but it is very useful, especially for the, as we say, for the diabetes. But not only for diabetes, but it has, we have seen that it is also very good for the prevention of cancer. So Momotica is very good plant, and one can eat its fruit during our dinner lunch time. Oh, of course, tomato. I hope you must be having lots of, when you prepare salad, tomato is one of the basic ingredients where you have green salads and tomato, onion, chili. But tomato is very good, and it has lots of lycopene over here, and it is said tomato is one of the good food material for the prevention of cancer. So uh, this is one thing important is that I feel personally that there should not be any stress while you are having your lunch or dinner. The things you eat should be natural ones. So this is one of the, tomato is a natural one which you like to eat during your salad, and that is why I recommend it's a very useful one. So of course green tea, and green tea, I hope in the seminar or the conference hall or the exhibition, there must be various corners where you might have green tea. And one of the best part in Japan, which I found, maybe in your country also, Thailand and China, which I know personally, that the green tea is available free. So in many of the hotels where you stay, many of the conferences where you there as work, the green tea is given. And green tea has been shown, a lot of epidemiological studies support a protective effect for various types of the certain cancers. So animal studies have also shown that green tea is good to prevent you from various cancer. So feel free, any in case of the conference hall, if you have the green tea, please drink as much as you can. So then there is another one that is probably you might be, it's widely used in Europe, that is ginkgo biloba, and it is useful also in dementia and Alzheimer. It has anti-inflammatory effects, it has antioxidant effects. So it's a wonderful plant which is good for the prevention of cancer. Turmeric, I hope you know, and you must be using during your cooking time at home. So turmeric is one which is very well known, and of course now it is also on the clinical trials, is already done. It is widely used, especially in USA, for the treatment of the cancer. It's a yellow spice used on cooking Indian dishes, and yellow color is due to phenolic compound curcumin, and it's a strong antioxidant, suppresses many types of tumors in animals, and it has a lot of clinical studies have already been done and fortunately successful. So rosemary is another plant, is a potent source of antioxidant, and there are three antioxidants here which prevent the cancer: rosmarinic acid, uracilic acid, and caffeine. So these are various ingredients of rosemary which identifies it and which help for the prevention of the cancer. So the next is very interesting, the chocolate tree, the theobroma, the coca fruit, and you will be happy to know that this plant has, the coca plant fruit has number of ingredients, number of flavonoids and other chemicals which are very useful to prevention of cancer. So chocolate, in theory, chocolate may also thin the blood by reducing the tendency of blood to clot. So blood clots are a major cause of heart attacks and strokes. So, however, there's no evidence exists to indicate that the people who eat chocolate suffer fewer heart attacks or strokes than the people. There are not various statistical analysis, but it is being hypothesized that this is very good to prevent you heart attacks and strokes. Not only that, we have seen that chocolate, of course, it promotes weight gain. So there are three concerns about it because it's sweet, but you should not worry about it of its major role, because chocolate has a lot of antioxidant properties, and these antioxidant properties, especially the dark chocolates, the bittersweet one, it has lots of flavonoids, antioxidants from the chocolate which accumulate in the blood, and in terms of certain types of the tumor, it really suppresses and stops. So feel free and have chocolates if you get it, especially the dark ones. So the next important thing is about the alcohol. And this is the red grapes, and people have a lot of red grape wine, and scientists are very smart. They always try to say something of their own liking. So they can't say alcohol is bad directly, but they also say that alcohol, you have to take it in a very moderate amount, or maybe possibly less one, but you can always try the red wine because it contains a very good antioxidant resveratrol, and which is very good as an antioxidant one. So what could be the ideal chemopreventive agent? It should be effective, easily administered, preferably once or twice a day, little or ideally no toxicity, and affordable, means price. That's important for any treatment. So the mechanism of chemoprevention of this plant's material and during diet, it's antioxidant, defense against radicals, it induces phase 1 enzymes, induces phase 2 enzymes, it has lots of anti-proliferatory agents, it is anti-hormones compound which prevent from the tumors, it has lot of various other uh, disruption of mutational gains or loss function, it has epigenetic function over here. So the antioxidant in general is, oxygen is actually a very toxic substance. So antioxidants are the first line defense mechanism against oxidative damage in plants. Fruits and vegetables are loaded with antioxidant chemicals. Therefore, these are very important ones. So what actually these fruits and vegetables have? They have flavonoids. And these are naturally occurring low molecular weight phenols which consist of two benzene rings linked via a heterocyclic pyron or pyron ring. So the anthocyanin is there in berries, flavonoids in various citrus fruit, flavanol in red wine and tea and chocolate and fruits. Flavonoids again are present in a lot of fruits, and hydroquinone also present in a lot of food material. So this is the list of the various vegetables or the fruits which are lots of chemicals, ingredients which are actually the add antioxidant property. So the what are phytochemicals? These are the phytochemicals which are present in the plants: phenolic acids, flavonoids, stilberries, lignans, and then in these flavonoids you have anthocyanin, flavonoids, and flavonols. So flavones are lots of flavonoids. They have isoflavones. We have catechin, we have epicatechin, and we have proanthocyanins, and we have pro cyanidins, and other phytochemicals. All these chemicals are really good for the prevention of the cancer. So the bioflavonoids means the flavonoids which are present in the biological group plants. So naturally occurring chemicals present in many fruits and vegetables, and major flavonoids in onion are quercetin and its glycosides routine, and it can reach appreciable level in only just one take, but tea also has a major source. So these are various bioflavonoids which are present. Bioflavonoids and reduce risk for heart disease, not only cancer, but they can reduce your heart strokes. Quercetin inhibits the LDL cholesterol, inhibits development of fatty streaks in the animals. So you have organosulfur compounds in the garlics. These are the one garlic which I told you, which is very much good and responsible for the prevention of cancer. So these are all the major compounds of the green tea and major compounds of the black tea. So all these chemicals which are major components of green tea and black tea are very useful for the prevention of cancer. So how can you get enough of phytochemicals? There are things that you can do: eating a variety of vegetables and fruits, eat more grains, don't forget herbs and spices. This decrease portion of size of meats. Don't eat meat. Decrease the size if you really have to taste. And then of course you have number of other things beside diet. You must have an active physical life. So emphasis on children and adolescents critically important. So there is always overweight is there intake. So better to have an regular exercise. So physical exercise is one of the most important one for the prevention of cancer, especially because to prevent the overweight and obesity. And of course, this is for all the disease here. Then you have, yes, you must limit the consumption of red meats, especially those in high fat and processed. So choose fish, poultry, or beans as an alternative to beef, pork, and lamb. And when you eat meat, select lean cuts and prepare meat by just baking, broiling, or poaching rather than trying to fry. Don't try fry too much, and because that may be harmful to you. So eat it. So always try to have a maintain a healthy weight. So always try to take your weight regularly. Then alcohol, as I said, that it increases the mouth and the esophagus cancer, pharynx and larynx, liver cancer, breast cancer in women. So especially combined use of alcohol and tobacco may be more harmful. So please try to avoid alcohol as much as you can. So it can have a lot of risk over here. So when people think that I thought a glass of wine was good for me, but just be very cautious while taking any alcohol. So we all recommend that we choose various diets which eat a variety of healthy foods with an emphasis on plant sources. So eat 5 or more servings of a variety of vegetables and fruits each day. Choose whole grains and limit consumption of meat, and choose foods which are healthy for you. And lastly, I would like to say that this is a pyramid which you eat rice and bread most, then you eat more vegetables and fruits, and less of animal foods and dried beans and nuts, and minimum of fats, oil, and sugar. So this is the FNRI food pyramid over here. So I wish and hope a very healthy life if you have the vegetarian diet and use the plant material. So above all, laughter is the best medicine. So always keep your smiling and give me a clap by laughing yourselves that you will prevent from all the cancers. So thank you very much for once again to the organizer for inviting me for this conference over here. Thank you very much. Thank you.